Welcome to another Trading Psychology podcast. This is season 5, episode 11, Abundance. Abundance of time, freedom, love, health and well-being. Firstly, I wish to dedicate this episode to a man who only very recently passed away unexpectedly in a bar called Abundance, coincidentally. He was not old, barely middle-aged. We knew each other via mutual friends. Just wanted to send my prayers and thoughts to those closest to him. Understandably, the word abundance can be associated with having lots of money, but what about having an abundance of time, freedom, love, health and well-being? After all, health is wealth, right? Time, freedom is wealth, right? Being loved and feeling loved is what so many seek and could also be considered wealth, right? So now think, what does abundance mean for you? Abundance of opportunities. I'm constantly reminding my team it's a never-ending buffet of financial opportunities, so no reason for FOMO. Same principles apply in life. Think how many times you've been presented with all levels of opportunities, but you've not taken action. Working with me is seen by my team as an opportunity to level up financially. I recognise the importance this has to them, so I work hard on their behalf to support them psychologically. Abundance of FOMO. You see, when you're plugged in, it's natural to have feelings of anxiety, doubt and fear. It's this realisation and self-awareness that can feel overwhelming. The saying is, if you know, you know. Relates to gaining experience, knowledge, exposure. For example, when there's a move happening in the market, you feel you should be involved. Initially, you're like a puppy chasing everything that moves. You want to be involved all day and night. Those feelings of missing out can quickly escalate into frustration if left unchecked. So it's imperative to build a strong foundation you can revert back to. Then things no longer feel out of sync. If you do not have a set process, that's always the place to start and involves routine and repetition. From here, you can eventually position yourself to take advantage of whatever chances life presents. Some people may say you got lucky, but you will know the truth. Abundance of time. Only 2 days in your life that are less than 24 hours. When you were born and when you die. How many 24-hour cycles does anyone truly have? There are no guarantees. So we play the probability game. We set ourselves some goals and allocate a reasonable amount of time. For my team, it's 5 years, 60 whole months to level up. Others follow a more traditional 9-to-5 role for 40 years, then retire. Nothing wrong with this approach. Both examples are allocating a set amount of time, and this is integral to achieving, as you well know. Abundance of psychology. An interesting phenomenon by leading therapists in psychology is that they can map out their knowledge in workbooks and manuals on how to overcome certain mental hurdles, shall we say. The issue is this does not work. Not without the coaching support. The advice is sound and the tasks are evidence-based. But one-to-one mentoring cannot be replicated in a self-help guide. Even with the use of computer-based programming and the ever-increasing use of AI, does not work as well as live performance. You see, when there is true mentoring, a person doesn't just learn to replicate what is being said, but also how they apply it. An athlete has a team of trainers. You can use a PT to improve your technique in the gym and see a percentage increase in your progress. Another key problem, unfortunately, is people simply do not want to pay to learn or to improve. They think they can level up by simply watching a few TikTok videos. Sure, there's a good amount of info out there, and if you operate like a machine and absorb it 100%, you will surely see improvement. But you're human, not a machine, which makes you fallible to mistakes. Trying to learn on your own doesn't work. If it did, we would statistically see more masters. That's the true power of having a good mentor to hold you to account. That singularity is often the turning point for athletes who recently started working with a new coach, for example. Trying to always go it alone can take many more years than it should. Don't need to be an expert to understand it's just how things work until such time the mentee becomes the mentor and passes on the torch. Abundance of belief. Believe in yourself, even if you have doubt. Only this week, one of my team was getting flustered as they felt they were missing their opportunities because their only marker was to compare with other traders who they thought were performing better. The reality was the complete opposite, in fact. Those other traders have been on a roller coaster of a ride in terms of big wins and equally big losses. As a result, their fortunes have not increased financially, at least. Whereas this particular trader in question has shown level-headed consistency due to sticking to their daily routine and process, and so have a steady, profitable increase in equity curve with little drama and chaos, and will soon be leveling up further. Of course, this journey has not been perfect. We will never be perfect as traders or as people. We strive for high probability of success, and that's what keeps us ever learning and ever growing. You know it makes sense. You know it takes time, patience, and discipline. This is what I believe to be the meaning of life. Find what you're good at, what you enjoy, and set yourself a challenge to use your shortcomings and failures to fuel your continued improvement. And never give up, because you will get there. Abundance of freedom. So where is it exactly you want to get to? For me, it's always been about having freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want, living life on my terms, experiencing all of it, creating memories along the way. That's it. Probably the biggest insight for me is understanding happiness is an ongoing process of fresh challenges. It's a combination of joy and fulfillment, and we are happy when we are immersed in what we love doing. I enjoy supporting my team. That's the work I love. Initially, I focused on making money, but this never ever sat right with me. Something always felt off. I remember my first employment and the salary expectations versus what they actually paid. It hugely differed. I was shocked. I was naive. I thought, how am I supposed to survive on only this much each month? I despise how much control money has in this world. Profit before people and environment. Always hear the same thing from those who are deeply institutionalized, that without money you can't be happy. Hip-hop songs promote chasing money as the sole reason you were born, to make money. Yet I've met a lot of people with money who are scared of losing it, which begs the question of just how happy they truly are. I have a rich aunt, for example, who thinks this way, scared of what will happen to her money when she dies. So she doesn't live, doesn't use her time or her freedom in any real productive way. Abundance of well-being. I was initially working 14-hour days, awake at 5:30, start work at 7 a.m, finish at 9 p.m, hardly ate, no rest, very skinny, weighing sometimes less than 70 kilos. As a young man in my 20s, I was simply going through the motions. I deeply connected with trading. It became an expression of who I am because I exposed my strengths and particularly my weaknesses. I often over-traded and over-risked because I discovered I lacked fulfillment, so turned to trading to fill my void, thrill-seeking from winning and making profit. But it took its toll on my health and mental well-being. After 3 years, I was burnt out. This had become an unhealthy obsession, resulting in huge losses and an even deeper sense of emptiness. Fortunately, I found communities through forums, discovering the most successful traders having a strong work-life harmony, often in teams and within teamwork environments, hence why I have a Telegram community. Summary: never limit your definition of what abundance means to you. Also, stop waiting for and looking for perfection. This mindset can become a toxic breeding ground for laziness. Imperfect wins, no matter how small or insignificant you initially think they are, all count towards making progress. In Japanese, it's called wabi-sabi. Stop waiting for perfect. Kaizen, also Japanese, means make it too small to fail. Start with one tiny improvement, do one thing, complete just one task each day. Laziness is always a character flaw. Sometimes I find it's a system problem as well. The lesson here, then, is simply this. Motivation fades, but a good system with processes in place stays. Make the first step smaller, the progress clearer, and your environment easier.